Everyone, I'm sure like me, you would have been really majorly impacted by that incredible rendition of The Blessing that went out on Sunday, just by this amazing display of unity in the church in the UK. That song, I believe it was Elevation Worship that put the music to those words, which are an ancient blessing from the book of Numbers chapter 6. Is this blessing that's known as the Aaronic blessing. It was a blessing that the priest made. It was given to Moses as like this blessing that was directly from God for the people. We don't really understand the word bless in our culture because it's a term that comes from the culture of covenant. When we think of covenant, we think of a contract, but covenants have this incredible, magical, mystical element to them in the ancient world. And the blessing was essentially the part that your covenant partner brought to the table. It was like, it really means in its most simplest form to bestow power on the other partner within the covenant. And so this is such a powerful thing. Only the priests were allowed to say this blessing. And we see it in number 6. It says the blessing essentially says, Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yahweh lift up his countenance to you and give you peace. When the priests would declare this over the people standing in the temple, they would make this symbol with their hands. The symbol would be like this. They'd make like a triangular symbol and they'd open up their fingers like this. For any of you Trekkie fans out there, you'll know the old Miss Dr. Spock, live long and prosper thing. It actually comes from this. It's a Hebrew symbol. They'd lift it up above their heads to where the menorah candle behind them would stand, and the light would shine through and be intensified by this kind of passageway of light that would come out, and they would declare this thing over the people. And it's like a 3-part blessing. First of all, it talks about God bless you. So God bestow his power on you and keep you. So keep you safe. Make his face shine. And that's the light thing. You know, Jesus talked about himself being the light of the world. And be gracious to you. There's this idea that God loves us. He favors us. His protection is over us. And then I love the third blessing is, may Yahweh lift you up. Lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom, give you peace. And the ancient rabbis talked about this as being like a father picking up their child. You know, like when a dad picks up their child and looks up at them with joy. And as a very proud dad of 4 kids, I know so many times like doing that with my kids and lifting them up and them just smiling at you and knowing that love and that protection and that fact that you weren't going to let them fall. And it says that the blessing goes on to say, and may he give you shalom, may he give you peace. And that peace is beyond what we understand as peace. It is that mystical concept of there being nothing missing, nothing broken. It's what we had with God in the very beginning when we walked and talked with him in the cool of the day, where there was no unbroken fellowship with him, with ourselves, with one another, or with the earth. And that's what God is going after. That's what he wants to restore. That is the reason why the good news is such good news, because through Jesus we can have a relationship with God, we can have a relationship with ourselves and no longer have to live in guilt and shame and condemnation. We can have a relationship with each other. There's no more need for fear and envy and rivalry and bitterness. We can have a relationship with the earth. You know, all of our ecological and economical poverty, it has been dealt with by the finished work of Jesus. And all creation is groaning, Romans 8 says, for the sons of God to come into their inheritance. And so this is the shalom. This is the blessing that has been promised to us. Finally, the amazing thing about this particular blessing is that only the priests were allowed to give this blessing. Only the sons of Aaron, in fact, not even all of the Levites, but only the sons of Aaron were allowed to give this blessing. And I just find it so powerful that right now, in the midst of the situation that we are in, that the church in the United Kingdom, and I know this is true of the church around the world in all kinds of different ways, are standing up and standing in the gap, and they are saying this incredible blessing over the nation. We are, if you like, holding up our hands to the divine light of God, that would shine through his people, and would shine onto the nation as we declare, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you, and may he give you peace. I'm declaring that over our nation and over the nations of the earth, and believing that God is on the move during this time. So God bless you. May you know that blessing, that bestowing of power upon you during these days like never before.
The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and